What are you saying, ladies and gents? It is your boy Bucket Sam, and yes, we are back again today for another video. Today's video, I'm going to be doing something a bit old school that will be coming back to the channel, I promise, and I mean it this time. My Game Week 15 Premier League predictions. But before we get into it, please do smash the like button and please do subscribe. So start off with the first game of the game week, Nottingham Forest versus Brentford, and Forest, let's be honest, bottom of the league. They've not got off to the best of starts, let's be honest, but in the last two games, they've only lost one in their last three, which is a bit of a resurgence in form, but they're still rock bottom of the league, and they're coming up against a Brentford side sitting in 11th place. And what I find ridiculous about this table this year is that bottom half of the table is so close, it is insane. When you look at Liverpool on 16 points, who are 9th in the league, are 5 points off the relegation zone, all of those teams within 5 points. It's absolutely mental. But my prediction for this, I do expect Brentford to win this, to be honest. Yes, they're the away side, but Forest for me just they don't look like a team yet, still do they? And we keep saying, oh, give them time. But time is running out already. So I'm going to go for a Brentford 2-1 away win. And the next game, we have got Wolves versus Brighton, 19th in the league. Wolves, I really need to turn this form around. They're coming up against a Brighton side who got off to an absolute brilliant result last week. De Zerbi hadn't had a great start. They couldn't score, they couldn't win. But I tell you now, they absolutely battered Chelsea. And I think they're going to take that form into this game. And I expect Brighton to win this. Yes, another away win. Who would have thought it? 2 away wins straight away. And we're going to go for a 3-1 Brighton win. Yes, I do think the Wolves are actually going to score. And the next game, we have got Man City versus Fulham. Fulham got off to a great start this season, unbeaten in their last 4 games, but they're going up against Man City, who have won 4 of the last 5 games. And that one loss came against Liverpool. Man City hot on Arsenal's tail, and at home, they're just an absolute beast, aren't they? Let's be honest. And I feel sorry for Fulham. A great start to the season, but let's be honest, we can't expect them to do anything here. If they do, fair play to them. But I'm going for a Man City 5-0 home win. And it's mental how I can say 5-0, it doesn't even seem that ridiculous when it's City. Like, it's crazy just saying it. But our next game, we've got Leeds United versus Bournemouth, and Leeds with an absolutely huge result, a brilliant win against Liverpool last week. And it was a win that no one really expected, and they fully deserved it. The energy was back, the tenacity, the drive, the determination, everything about that performance was absolutely brilliant. And what a game of football it was. Leeds, I love watching them play. There's always goals. They can't keep clean sheets, but they always score. And they're coming against a Bournemouth side they've not been great recently. Gary O'Neill's form's really dropped off with 3 losses on the spin. Unlucky to lose out against Tottenham last week, but I do expect this one. I'm really sorry. I honestly believe Leeds are going to get a win here. So sorry, Bournemouth fans, because I know I've got a lot of stick off them in the past because I haven't been very nice with my predictions towards them. But I do think Leeds are going to leapfrog them with a 2-1 Leeds win. And the next game, we have got Everton versus Leicester. And this is a real interesting game. Everton, to be honest, have done really well recently. Unbeaten in the last 2 games, kind of turn that form around. Lampard's men kind of going under the radar a bit, climbing up that table just ever so slightly, trying to push away from that bottom pack. And it comes against a Leicester side who, before last weekend, were on form, but it was against Man City. And to only concede 1, that is a great result. But I expect this one to be a real tight affair. But I'm going to go for a home win here. I'm going to go for an Everton 1-0 win. Yes, you heard me, Everton to win this one. And now to arguably one of the best games of the weekend, Chelsea versus Arsenal. Arsenal top of the league, Chelsea 6th place. Chelsea after an absolute battering, Potter's first loss, and they haven't won in 3 now in the league. So things really need to change. It's not a side you realistically want to be playing in, because Arsenal, let's be honest, have been absolutely unreal this season. Like, no one expected them to hit the heights they have done, and fair play to them. What a brilliant performance. They're coming to Stamford Bridge, and I'm going to go for a draw here. I know it's probably a bit of a rogue shout. Aubameyang is going to be licking his lips, ready to play against Arteta's side, because Arteta kind of, not banished him, but kind of really, it was toxic, wasn't it, the way he left. So I expect Aubameyang to really try and turn up in this game. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Yes, I still think it's going to be a great game of football though, because I think it's going to be similar to that Liverpool game that Arsenal had, which was an absolute cracker. And the next game, we've got Aston Villa, who host Manchester United. Aston Villa under Unai Emery sat 16th in the league with 1 win in the last 5. It's not been great. And Man United, as said on the podcast recently, if you haven't already, go check that out. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Bucket at Sam Talks Ball. Go check that out. A brilliant podcast, may I say. I'm a humble guy. But Man United have kind of gone under the radar this season. I feel like not enough clubs are talking about them. We talk about how well Graham Potter's been doing, but Man United are sat currently 5th in the league. It's crazy to think, with a game in hand, if they win their game in hand, they go joint with Tottenham Hotspur, which is crazy in third of the league. And we talk about Ten Hag, about the poor start they got off to. It's not been pretty, but they're getting results. They're grinding out results. And I think they'll do that this game because, yes, the pressure will be on Ten Hag because this is another game where these are kind of games where they're expected to win. And so they've got to do what they did against West Ham, kind of really try and grind out, not a dirty result, it's probably the wrong word, but it's not a pretty fixture, let's be honest. And coming against an Unai Emery side is not easy. You know they're going to be defensively resolute and then in their structure, hard to beat. And you know first game players are going to be playing for the manager, so this is going to be a really interesting game. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Man United away win. And the next game, Southampton versus Newcastle. Southampton now flirting with that relegation zone with 1 win in their last 5. It simply hasn't been good enough, and they're coming against a Newcastle side that just cannot stop winning. 4 wins in their last 5 games. They've lost 1 game all season. It's not looking good for Southampton. I've said already, I think they're going to get relegated. I think Newcastle's going to absolutely batter them here. I really, really do. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 Newcastle away win. Yes, and I think the scoreline will flatter them because Newcastle don't often take their chances. Almiron, will he ever stop scoring? That is what I want to see. Because every week I keep saying it's not going to be his week. He's going to drop off, but fair play to him. Since Jack Grealish made his comments, he's been absolutely sensational this season. Now on to the final 2 fixtures. We've got West Ham versus Crystal Palace, and this is an absolute cracker of a fixture. West Ham in 13th, Crystal Palace in 10th, and we all know one thing, Crystal Palace are awful away. A brilliant side to watch, but they just can't do it away for some reason. I don't know what it is. That front 4, by the way, absolutely unreal watching. We're talking Zaha, we're talking Edouard, we're talking Elise, Eze. It's beautiful on the eye, but they're currently only sat in 10th. I feel like they should be way higher. And I know it's a great start to the season, but with that kind of firepower, you expect a little bit more. I feel like I'm being a little bit harsh, but they're great players, aren't they? Young talent that need to find some real consistency. Yes, they've only lost 1 in the last 5 games, but I just want to see them push on to that next level because I really think they can actually potentially push for Europe with teams like Liverpool potentially not at it, Chelsea not at it, United not at it, as in at their top level. So potentially could Palace go in, maybe try and get a Conference League game with West Ham falling off a little bit. This is going to be a really interesting one. West Ham looking okay. Scamacca didn't look great against Man United. They kind of maybe just want to see him try and step up a little bit because West Ham, for me, have really disappointed me. They've not got off to a great start, but they've signed a lot of players who fit the bill, but they're just taking a little bit of time to gel and get into that cohesive unit that we kind of expect with the David Moyes side. So I expect them to climb up that table as they are doing currently, 13th in the league, but I do think this one's going to be a bit of a tight affair. I'm going to go for 1-1. And then the final game of the game week, and I am so excited to talk about this game and watch it. The late kickoff on Sunday, 4:30, Tottenham Hotspur versus Liverpool. Wow, I cannot wait for this. And Liverpool have been, let's be honest, dreadful this season, especially away from home. They're currently sat 9th in the league, as I said, 5 points off relegation. They're coming against a Tottenham side who have not been great recently. 2 losses in their last 3 games, but they had a great result in the week with the Champions League. So they showed heart, they showed grit. And for some reason, it feels like Tottenham haven't had a great season, but they're currently sat 3rd in the league, one of the best starts in Premier League history. I'm pretty sure it might be one of the best starts. And I don't know what it is. It might be just because it's not the attractive style of play that you expect from Tottenham, and it's not the usual, really, is it? It's not the normality. When you see Tottenham, you kind of think of the pretty football, but they're getting results, let's be honest. And they really grinded that one out against Bournemouth. They were lucky to get back into it, so fair play to them. I think it's going to be a really interesting game. What we'll expect to see is Conte's men sat in deep and Liverpool attacking high, and Tottenham probably will try and hit them on the counter. So it's going to be a really interesting game. I'm going to go, you ready for this? A 2-1 Tottenham home win. Yes, you heard me. I believe Tottenham will beat Liverpool in this game. But let me know down in the comment section below all of your predictions for the game week. I'm absolutely buzzing for this. If you haven't already, please do smash the like button and do subscribe. Lots more predictions and lots more videos will be coming your way. And if you haven't already, check out all the TikToks, check the podcast out, check out everything. Everything will be in the link down below. Thank you for watching though. Bucket Sam over out. Thank you. Goodbye.